Here we are back at nematodes. In these three nematodes, each in a different genus, we can still see that stylet. Right there it is projected. This one is ring nematode. So all the plant parasitic nematodes have a stylet mouthpiece. Other nematodes have other types of mouthpieces. Here's an example of root knot symptoms on a root. So these nodules are caused by that nematode. So we saw in the previous part of the lecture how that female causes some of those cells to enlarge, and that's what causes the galls. These galls look different from the root nodules associated with rhizobium. In rhizobium, we have a nice round regular nodule. In root knot, it's more irregular. Here again is some root knot nematode. We see it on carrot and on roots. And as you can imagine, when you have this on roots, those roots are not functioning properly. You don't see root hairs here. You see the roots sloughing, coming apart. And so that's not going to support good plant growth and crop yield. There's dagger nematode. This is a light micrograph. You can see that stylet inside the root. Now, this is a different kind of nematode. This is going to eat bacteria in the soil. So we consider this beneficial, and you can see that the mouthpiece here is very different. So it has a feathery kind of mouthpiece that pulls the bacteria into the esophagus of the nematode. Here we go. There's another bacterial feeder. So this is taken with a scanning electron micrograph, and that's how we get really cool images. All right, let's go. Monachus. All right, this is a predatory nematode. So see this big mouthpiece here? This is a light micrograph. It eats other nematodes, right? So it can consume other nematodes. So this is considered beneficial. It will eat the plant parasitic nematodes. This is ring nematode, and these spores on it are a fungus. These are spores of the fungus Hirsutella rosseliensis, and this is a fungus that is going to parasitize the nematode. These spores will germinate. They're sticky, and the germ tube will spread through the length of the nematode. This illustration was taken with a scanning electron microscope. And you can see why it's called ring nematode for the rings around it. It causes damage to peach trees. This nematode has been trapped by a ring fungus. So the fungus has some rings, and when a nematode swims through it, that ring clamps down on the nematode, and this will also parasitize the entire nematode. The mycelium will grow into the nematode and utilize the nutrition inside the roundworm, and so that is also considered beneficial. All right, here we see the Meloidogyne juveniles penetrating the root. So that is root knot nematode juveniles. They have been released from the egg sac of a female. Female nematode became an egg sac. Those eggs turned into juveniles in the egg, and they were released and are now penetrating the root. So you can imagine that this is overwhelming that root. That's just too much. There's a mouthpiece of ring nematode. So the little hole there is where the stylet would come out. All right, APS. So APS is American Phytopathological Society, and I recommend that as a site to visit for additional information on any number of diseases. So that is a reliable, recommended site. And then bacteria, let's take up bacteria in the next segment, or in our next little micro lecture.